Sup guys, it's Kosh, and today we will talk about incremental games. A lot of people, when seeing what I play, are asking me what's the purpose of those incremental games you're playing, and well, it takes a while to explain them what it means, and most of them don't get it. So today we will try to make the most explained video about incremental games, so even the noobs, even people who don't play games, will get what they are about. Let's go. Basically, most of those games are focused around increasing your income, your numbers, going from getting one per click, but from the small numbers, incrementally increasing and growing to the insane amounts of the numbers that I can't even pronounce. Billions of trillions. So basically you can go from something like this with the mana, going up really slow and being able to do the minor stuff in some games will differ, to something like this where you get millions of mana points per second instead of one, and being able to gain resources really fast, and the process of growing your income, growing your resources gain is really that satisfying. You can go from something like this in the Realm Grinder, where you just start, where you build the basic stuff, gain resources by clicking things and building the basic buildings, to something really crazy that we have right here with insane amount of buildings. So basically that E something means E, and the number after that is amount of zeros. So it's 10 and 56 zeros after that. I don't know how big that number is, but basically, yeah. One of the most popular incremental games is probably Adventure Capitalist. This is one of the most basic games as well, because the mechanics here is very simple, it lacks graphics, it's pretty simple, but it's still very entertaining and very addictive, guys. And guys, yes, another example of those incremental games is a Cookie Clicker. That's another game that a lot of you maybe heard about. I haven't actually played it beforehand, but here is some footage from the YouTube of that game. You can't see that many things here, it's just the numbers rising, but this one is used to be really addictive. And yes guys, most of those incremental games don't really have really fancy graphics or anything like that. Some of those are just text-based games without any graphics at all. For example, this Swarm Simulator, I played it back in the day. It's a fantastic, really interesting game, and it starts like this. There's like not many things here, you just get the drones, and then as you upgrade, as you progress, you will unlock, growing your territory and that kind of stuff. So in incremental games, the visuals don't matter as much as you might think. You just gotta try it and you will get into it. Swarm Simulator is a great example of incremental games because you can already see how the meat number, the basic resources, is rising really crazy fast as we get more and more progression, and how you should balance your spending. So you can spend those resources on getting the basic drones units that gets meat, or you can get the hatchery that will improve the larvae income, or get the queens that produce drones automatically. And those decisions are basically in all those incremental games. You gotta balance your production resources in order to get the most out of it. By the way guys, while I'm stuck playing Swarm Simulator some way, write in the comments what's your favorite incremental game out there, if you played those, and what do you like about them the most. And then there are other games like this one, for example, Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. Here we have the graphics, our characters are moving. Yes, this is not like top-notch graphics here, but it have the animation, the heroes are attacking other heroes, there are skills and everything, and this is still an incremental game because the numbers will rise. Look at the numbers right now, and if I'll be able to load my save game. There we go. So yeah, you get a bunch of the heroes. As you can see, the numbers are getting crazy already. Those are quintillions, nonillions, and that kind of stuff. The enemies are getting stronger as well. The damage is rising to thousands, and it will go even higher as you progress through the game. So this is incremental game mixed with RPG strategy games. The genres are mixing all the time, so incremental games are mostly mixed with an idle game, so they kinda mistaken, and the clicker games have been mistaken as well. But incremental is different. Incremental is the fact that in the game your numbers will start increasing rapidly, right? And idle and the other kind of genres are different. We'll talk about those in a different video maybe if you want to. Let me know in the comments if you want that. And guys, some of the games like Iceps here are really visually gorgeous if you play them enough. basically, like in this game, the amount of upgrades you do for each specific type of particle, there are several of those, will affect how it will look on your screen. So by upgrading stuff, you will change the visual performance that you have on your screen. Some of those are really beautiful, like for example this one. Looks like you're looking into the space, guys. So yeah, based on the game that you will pick and based on your own requirements, on your own likes and that kind of stuff, you can pick the game that you like. So incremental is basically the fact that in the game the numbers will start rising rapidly, and you can go from getting something like the basic stuff, a small piece by one, to going to something like millions and millions of things. So that's the main thing of incremental games. Another important thing about incremental games that is usually present in the most incremental games is prestige mechanics. So for example, the same ICEPs, it kind of have the same sort of prestige mechanics in most of the games, but here we can get the basic idea. When you reach some point into the game where you can gain more stuff, you can't do any more upgrades because they become too costly, because most of the prices for the upgrades is exponential. So the more you buy, the more expensive they become. That's an important aspect. So at some point everything will be really expensive for you and you won't progress too much. Then you will do some sort of prestige. Prestige is basically resetting your game, but keeping some of your achievements, some of your upgrades, some of your multipliers for your next run. Yes, obviously the upgrades that you're doing in the games are based on your multipliers that you get. Let me do the reset and I'll show it to you. So let me do the prestige, the reset simulation in this case, and I will show you how it works. Bam, reset, you got this beautiful animation, then you got those prestige currency here that's called singularity points, whatever. In different games it's different. You can get the bonus multiplier to your overall income or something like that. There are a lot of different options for prestige mechanics in different games, but most of them are kind of the same. Every time you do prestige, you will get more different stuff that will make your progress next run easier. Something like a roguelike game where every run you get a better chance of being successful. So what do? We put those data cube points to good use, so we will do some upgrades that will increase our multipliers, and our next run we will start to get more income for whatever we do. So start a new simulation, bam, here we are, our basic gains here. So let's sell the energy, and here as we do the upgrades we will start getting more and more income. And most incremental games work the same way. Basically, as you do the upgrades, you will start getting some basic resource. Then in order to increase your basic resource gain, in our case it's the top left corner, it's energy, you need to start getting more and more stuff that produce that. In order to do that, you go and get the second tier production stuff. In our case it's alpha particle, then the beta particle. Yeah, this is not that obvious. So when we get those things, they produce the beta particles. You can use those particles to get the upgrades in this building, for example, and that will give you that huge multiplier at the top to your energy. So now our energy gain is way higher and we can afford more stuff. And that's how it goes. Basically, you get more and more layers of the upgrades and they work all together. Like they go together in order to increase your top thing, your resource gain. Of course, it doesn't work for all incremental games. Some of those are pretty simple. So for example, this egg game, I think it's called egg game, it's called Egg Inc., is pretty straightforward. Basically, you just click on your chicken button over here and that produces chickens for you. And those chickens, they run to your buildings and they start producing eggs. As simple as that. And you need to get significant amount of eggs to go to the next level. There are missions and that kind of stuff. But overall, the progression here is way simpler. Here you have different type of upgrades. The common ones that kind of affects the current playthrough. So those multiply your gains from the current run, just like before. So you can get the vehicle capacity, capacity of all habs or whatever, egg value, whatever. So all those upgrades affect your current playthrough, and epic ones that cost premium eggs that you gain after the reset that are being spent to get the bonuses that will stay after your prestige, and those will help you to grow faster. So for example, that will increase the refill rate, egg production, and that kind of stuff for this game. So like cheaper buildings for eggs, more bonuses, and that kind of stuff. Moreover, after you will do the reset over here, you will move on to the next type of farm that will give you another multiplier. So for example, you can see that here the price of the egg will go up and you will get more money and you will be able to afford more upgrades. It's a pretty simple and fun game. This is not as complex as the games that I like, but it's still pretty cool because it's nice. You can see the chickens running. Why the hell not? Some incremental games expose strategy mechanics like this one. Go away, ad. Basically, you build different production buildings and bring resources to your main base, and you develop like that. So this is one of the options. This game, by the way, is called... I don't really know how it's called. This game is called Exo Miner. Then you have something like Antimatter Dimensions, which is mostly about the numbers again. Device claims what? Accurate, yes, there we go. Confirm. Yeah, so basically here you almost have no graphics, but this game is really fantastic because it pulls you in. You just, you know, those numbers. There are several layers of prestige here, so you don't get only one layer of prestige. There is a second, and I think there is a third layer of prestige. So when you do the second layer, you will reset the first layer of prestige, and you will get even higher bonuses that will allow you to go through all that loop again to get more stuff. Yes, it's a grind, but it's a fun grind. Another game is Idling to Rule the Gods. It's also a pretty old and pretty nice incremental game, and this is an RPG basically because you kinda upgrade your own character in order to be more powerful to contest the gods, almost like One Punch Man, something like Goku, something like that anime stuff, you know, where you overpower the universe, that kind of stuff. Oh yes, the universe. There is a game, I think I don't have it right now. Yeah, sadly I don't have it right now, that actually makes you evolve from the cell to the universe being. That's a browser game, that's why I don't have it. And yes guys, most of the incremental games doesn't have an ending, but some of those are story driven, some of those have an ending. In some of those you can reach the point where there are no more upgrades, and some of those have actual ending when you win the game, like Space Plan over here, where you actually have an ending. You start, you kinda unlock things, you awaken your systems like this real life, and then you do the upgrades, there is an intro, and then you will see this planet. And this is where you are, and you're doing things, you upgrade stuff in order to kind of save yourself, to move to the different area. So Spaceplane is actually a really good game. And at some point, like somewhere here, for example, you already see that there are some things on the planet over there, so you build stuff and they are actually on the screen. And as you will play the game, you will unlock more and more things. You will go into the solar system, use the gravitational fields and that kind of stuff in order to win yourself. So that's a really fun game as well. There are different type of incremental games out there, and not all of them are pretty stupid. Just click this thing and you're done. So yeah guys, I have no idea how much this video will take in the end, but it took me insane amount of time to create because I had to insert different clips of other games and install them and actually play them a little bit for you. So I would appreciate your sub over here if you haven't done that yet, and like for this video. And I would like to hear your thought on this kind of video in the comments. If you like it, we can create tier list for idle incremental games for different genres. We can create idle game, what's idle games basically, because those are different and that kind of stuff. So let me know what do you want to see on this channel down there. While you're going there, don't forget to like the video and check the pinned comment and the video description. We have the Linktree guide over there with a lot of links for my main channel, for my Discord and other social medias that you might want to join. And there are also playlists for other stuff like reviews of idle incremental games. You will find something useful here for sure, because if you like incremental and idle games, this is the channel specifically for you. So I hope you guys like this video, and thank you very much for watching it. That's about it for now. Stan Kosh out. Have a good one. Bye.